Hello everyone, welcome to the Autoimmune Dietitian YouTube channel. My name is Annie. I'm a registered dietitian and I work with people struggling with autoimmune diseases. In my work with my clients, I help them use both food and lifestyle as a way to help them feel better and get them feeling back to where they were before they were diagnosed. So today we are talking about diet and how that can impact your healing journey. So diet plays an integral role in healing inflammation, and I've seen it firsthand with my own healing journey and with my amazing clients who are sometimes surprised at how much better they feel when they switch to an anti-inflammatory diet. So how does food do this? Well, it's not totally clear, but certain foods have specific components that help fight inflammation. And so we're going to discuss this and more today. Before I jump in, I just need to attach my usual disclaimer to this video that the information in today's talk is not the substitute for the diagnosis, treatment, or care of disease by a medical provider. This is for informational purposes only. So please consult your qualified health professional for any changes that you make to your medical care. All right, so the idea that anti-inflammatory diets can lower inflammation means that some foods must exacerbate inflammation. Well, is that true? Absolutely yes. There are foods that our body just doesn't love, and these foods can actually cause more harm than good inside of us. And unfortunately, most of these foods are common in the standard American diet. So here's a quick list of these foods and what they do. So sugar, highly processed sugar, not the sugar that you find naturally in foods, can negatively affect us in a few ways. First, too much sugar raises blood glucose and forces our pancreas to overproduce insulin. Over time, that can lead to insulin resistance. Also, it forces your body to store unused calories and fatty acids as fat in your adipose tissue. High blood sugar in and of itself is inflammatory, and an increase in fatty acids in cells triggers your immune cells to produce inflammation all over your body. Second, sugar disrupts the gut microbiome and encourages the growth of inflammatory bacteria that affects how the gut regulates the immune system. Trans fats. So you might be thinking, trans fats, aren't they banned? Well, not really. You can still find them in baked goods, in margarine or shortening, and anytime you see partially hydrogenated oil listed on an ingredient label. These fats raise inflammatory markers in your blood and cause apoptosis, otherwise known as cell death, of your immune cells, which is definitely not what you want. Artificial colors, flavors, gums, and stabilizers. While they seem harmless, they are not. These ingredients can also disrupt the gut microbiome, increase intestinal inflammation, and trigger leaky gut. I would even argue that natural flavors should be avoided. While they come from natural sources like plants, they undergo further chemical processing that may in fact be harmful. You also have no idea what's in natural flavors because the additional ingredients are just not listed on labels. So there are a number of ways that you can structure an anti-inflammatory diet. And this is where my expertise comes in because every single person is different in terms of how food affects them, and finding the right foods for you is important for this to work. However, the general approach to an anti-inflammatory foods includes the following components. First, you really want to focus on antioxidant-rich foods. Antioxidants fight and sequester free radicals, which are major contributors to inflammation. These are also known as phenolic compounds. Foods rich in these inflammation-fighting compounds include fruits and vegetables. There are hundreds of different antioxidants, so it's important to eat a large variety of these foods to really capitalize on getting different compounds to fight inflammation. Omega-3 fatty acids. They're found primarily in seafood, but these essential fatty acids are broken down in the body, and as they are metabolized, they form bioactive compounds that help resolve inflammation. Metabolites also regulate the immune system to support the resolution of inflammation. Fiber. Fiber plays an important role in digestive health, but it can also help lower inflammation. Bacteria in the gut feeds on certain types of fiber to produce short-chain fatty acids, which help regulate the immune system. Fiber can also help lower inflammatory markers. So if you are new to an anti-inflammatory eating, here's how I would start changing my diet. First, I would start by removing all processed foods and chemicals from your daily eating plan. This sounds easy, but it is a lot harder than it sounds. So be prepared to read a lot of food labels, and ideally you want to stick to whole foods. In order to do this successfully, you must have a plan for all of your meals and snacks, and it will probably require you to bring your lunch from home unless you have access to fresh food at work. Snacks are the hardest for most people, so make sure you have things you can eat in between meals if needed. You will likely need to, again, focus on whole foods or make your own snacks. Once you've mastered the first step, then focus on variety. And by variety, I mean different plants, both colors and types. The old saying, eat the rainbow, definitely applies here. Remember, different phenolic compounds are found in different foods and colors, so this is why it's so important to mix up your fruits and vegetables. In addition, eating 30 different plants a week optimizes your gut microbiome. Plants can also be herbs and spices, so go nuts with seasonings on your dishes. So do this for 30 days, cut out processed foods and focus on variety, and see if you notice a difference. If you are still having issues, then we may need to dig deeper into food sensitivities or other outside exposures. So just to recap, today we focused on what an anti-inflammatory diet entails, what it does not entail, why these foods are important, and why the foods that we cut out are important to cut out. If you have specific questions, please drop those in the comments below. If you would like to find out more about working with me, I would love to chat with you. I offer free 15-minute discovery calls to learn about your goals. You can go to my YouTube profile and sign up for a discovery call. In the link, there should be a link there. There's also a link to my website where I have an extensive blog. Lots of great free downloadable guides and materials for you, just so you can help manage your autoimmune disease a little bit better. So thank you for joining me. Lastly, I forgot, if you don't follow me, hit the little subscribe button. I do try to put these videos out about every week or so. So I hope to see you at the next one. Thanks, and I'll see you later.